Back in the 1990s to 2000s, Disney was extremely dominant in its 2D/3D works as it entered its renaissance, and Pixar was more than a thing, allowing it to go on and develop some of the most critically acclaimed animated works of all time. But to stand the test of time, the company decided on creating another 2D animated movie that could stand out in front of the crowd. With enough marketing and a story that could appeal to all ages, comes the newest addition to the 2D catalogue, Lilo and Stitch. Family issues are tackled a lot here, and the concept is extremely interesting, but there's plenty of charm to be made out of it. Its main standing point is its messages/themes, which are easy to study with its family struggles and create a bond between them. There are loads of Hawaiian cultures explored as well, and the title characters will captivate the younger viewers, especially Stitch himself. Compared to some other 2D animated works, this is the most appealing with its colourful watercolour animation and plenty of sci-fi action scenes. So, how does Lilo and Stitch stand amongst Disney's original animated movies? What makes its messages so important to all ages? And why is it so critically acclaimed by even the most novice fans today? In today's movie review, I'll be talking about the 2D Disney film Lilo and Stitch. Let's see how Disney developed another 2D anime classic to fit into their already expansive library. To begin with, the characters that are all present in this movie's story are the main highlight of it all. Let's start by talking about our two favourite title characters. Lilo is a quirky but relatable character, finding plenty of love and joy. She's currently grieving over the loss of her parents, so her older sister, Nani, is responsible for raising her in a struggling life situation. Even if she's being treated harshly, Lilo shrugs it off with levels of energy. And everyone's favourite blue alien, Stitch, also known as his codename, Experiment 626, is beloved by many since his character arc is extremely fantastic for Disney standards. At first, he starts off as an unloved creature, but starts finding his place on Earth when he becomes Lilo's pet, and they both share an amazing relationship that shows how two different individuals can become family. Furthermore, there are also some other memorable side characters like Nani, David, Jumba, Pleakley, Ground Councilwoman, Cobra Bubbles, and Captain Gantu. You will immediately fall in love with this movie's characters once you get to know them throughout the story. Even when Pixar was mostly dominant for 3D animation during the 2000s, Disney itself decided to animate this entirely in 2D. And guess what? It still looks absolutely gorgeous for 2002 standards. What makes this stand out so much more is the watercolor palettes and the hand-printed segments, which both look very pleasant to look at, and it does well in giving more world building to help make Hawaii a pleasant place to stay. Speaking of world building, it's carried even more due to its setting being Hawaii. There's plenty of culture that you'd see in modern Hawaiian culture, like hula dancing, tackling its main theme of ohana being meant family, nature being portrayed in the landscape/environment, its signature slang, and many more. Being set on a tropical island like this only makes the movie feel more lively than it already is, showing how well it has really aged and why it makes you want to visit the Hawaiian Islands if you haven't already. Another main shout out that makes this movie a powerful remembrance for all viewers is its themes and messages. It's mostly about family and the struggles of being in one, whilst also showing acceptance and many differences. Even if you are different from someone and look a lot more weird in comparison to them, you can still find plenty of respect with each other because you stick together. It shows how friendships can heal, especially for those who feel a bit understood, which is shown a lot in the film. It also talks about kindness and belonging, with Stitch himself being massively transformed with the help of Lilo, as he's initially portrayed as a violent blue alien, but learned the concept of ohana and becomes kind, bringing his more softer side and therefore becoming family. It's pretty relevant to main characters like Lilo, Stitch and also Nani. It shows family audiences how to form a strong bond between yourself and your beloved ones, and even to those who, even if they look weird, they can still be accepted when they share a nice nature towards others. Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. To make its Hawaiian-like vibe more realistic, the film also comes with a memorable music track that really captures its setting. Alan Silvestri's main soundtrack is pretty solid overall, but what really steals the show is that are a bunch of classic songs by the late Elvis Presley. Despite him passing away 30 years before this film's release, it pays great tribute to him as a whole, helping to remind the viewers on just how great he really was, being a key ingredient to this movie's charm and emotion without ruining its reputation as a whole. It also includes a photo of Elvis Presley's physical appearance, and Stitch at one point cosplays as the legendary artist, helping newcomers on how special he was for the time whilst giving adults something to tear about. This is definitely Disney playing safe with their choices in making this film during production, adding a little more attention to detail that they never needed to do at first, but they did it anyway. To Elvis Presley who's watching above all, your work will continue to inspire many different types of pop culture that made your songs such a hit many years ago. Thank you, legend. Finally, to end with, the story is very clever for a film that plays it safe. It's a coming-of-age story for both Lilo and her older sister, Nani. You get a nice detail of how Lilo and Nani's personalities have changed after the death of their parents. Lilo has behavioural problems, which is even sadder when you think about Lilo's age and the more you look into how they were lost in the process. And Nani is tired of having to raise Lilo on her own. She's struggling to raise Lilo, as you can see in the beginning, where her frustration has become at a high point, and she's trying to navigate her own life whilst continuing to raise Lilo at the risk of sending her to foster care via orders from Cobra Bubbles if her current situation doesn't improve within the next 3 days. It's a very relatable and realistic story, also focusing on the bond between siblings. Stitch eventually joins the family, though, and even he has plenty of struggles and growth since he was an experiment gone wrong, and Jumba and Pleakley are always hunting him down from the orders of Grand Councilwoman after crashing landing on Earth. The entire premise that's directed by Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlue is one other reason on why the characters are just so much fun to watch. Lilo and Stitch is an instant anime movie that deserves the attention it still obtains from many viewers that grew up watching it. It mixes all of its highlighted ingredients to make it a colourful all ages story. Those being its memorable characters, in which I instantly fell in love with its title characters alongside the supporting cast. The animation is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm pretty surprised it's 2D animated despite Pixar's legendary run during the time. The themes and messages are easy to understand due to its constant remains in the viewer's mind. The soundtrack, consisting of classic Elvis Presley songs, is very memorable, and it has a very strong and well-crafted story with plenty of surprises. The film was so successful that it went on to spawn a franchise which consisted of a few more direct-to-video movies, an animated television series, and eventually the infamous live-action adaptation, which is okay, but way behind this animated classic. This movie continues its nostalgic feeling towards people that grew up watching it, and its fanbase that it managed to spawn with its clever marketing and the merchandise. Lilo and Stitch is a great watch for the entire family that will be a high priority for those who are looking for a quick and effective adventure with its title characters. More edgier than straight kid-friendly fare, Lilo and Stitch is funny, full of heart, gorgeously animated, and essentially the reason why ohana means family. My final score for this Disney film is a 10 out of 10 and a grade S. It's simply an adorable movie with plenty of heart and charm. I will forever fall in love with these beloved title characters. I'm quite impressed on how well this movie has aged even 20 years later. It's a pretty strong family movie that has its importance to all viewers, especially the younger audience. I'm hoping in the future that Disney can come back to making more 2D animation movies, as I really miss these. But with that being said, leave a like on this video if you guys did enjoy my review on Lilo and Stitch, and also remember to subscribe if you are new, and hit that bell icon to see more content on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Take care of yourselves.